So right now is one of the most important times in your recruiting if you have not received an offer yet, because in about 2 months, we're about to hit offer season. And so if you don't know what that is and are trying to get an offer, you need to pay attention to this. And so I'm Trent Loyer. I'm a former college quarterback. I also run Your First Scholarship, where we help families get their first scholarship and more. And so last year, really, I always knew that was when most offers happened as far as November and December. But it was proven even more so when I was working with more families than I have before, and ended up helping families probably get, I'd have to look back at the numbers, but probably anywhere from over 30 scholarships total. And so really this time that we're entering that right now, and as I'm recording this, it's October 21st. We're going into November and December, and this is where most of the offers will come. Now, let's go first into the reason why, and let's talk about how you can get more offers out of that. And so the reason why is very simple. Most of these offers that are coming out are going to be D2s, D3s, NAs, because those programs do not have the resources to recruit year and round like Division I FBS programs do, like Division I FCS programs do, especially the FBS programs, because those FBS programs have recruiting assistants, they have full-on director of recruitings, while D2 programs, most of the D2 programs, the recruiting coordinator is also a coach on staff. Same with the D3 programs, the NA programs. There's not those extra recruiting staff proponents of it, where that recruiting staff is running 24/7, only focused on recruiting. These coaches are focused on winning games first, and then the recruiting comes second. And so they're able to do a little bit during the season, in the off season, etc. But the time that they put the most time into the recruiting efforts is here in November and December. And the reason is simple, is because it's after the season, and that way they have more time. And since February is when signing day is, pretty much November, December, January, beginning of February is all focused on how can we finish out this upcoming class, so that way we can secure the guys that we've been talking to, as well as find new guys that maybe just don't have the offers and that we can grab right now. And so they put full blast efforts into finishing that up, making sure that they can grab the guys that they need, see also what exactly they're going to have at those positions, because things change year by year, especially with the transfer portal. They don't know exactly what's going to happen until that season ends up. And then they get the exit interviews. They see who's leaving, who's staying, what's going on there. And then they're able to get a more clear idea of, okay, we need this many defensive ends. We need to fill this position. Okay, well, we'll recruit that many. Okay, here we go. And they start to evaluate much quicker. Their cycle becomes a lot quicker because they can evaluate offer much faster since they have that more time to do so. So that's why it happens. It's just very simple that they have more time to do it, they can do it, and it makes more sense since it's closer to signing day. Because obviously there's not much reason for them to put recruiting efforts early on in the cycle, because most of the time they put early efforts on to the guys that they really want, they'll usually lose those guys because they know that trickle-down recruiting, the FCSs are going to start to offer some of the guys that got early D2 offers, so on and so forth, because usually that's an indication of talent. And so they don't want to waste their time, a ton of time, with someone early on that they know they're probably not going to get. And so it makes sense to just wait towards the later half to put most of their time in, because it's going to be the most efficient time. And they're more likely to actually get commits then as well. And so that's most of the reason why. From there, the way you maximize it is, first off, you should have been building momentum all the way up. So like, don't wait until November, December. You hear this and you're like, okay, cool. Like, I only have to wait till November and December of my senior year. You don't want to do that, because even then you won't be able to maximize all of it. Really what this comes from is I look at it like a harvest. You're really farming and nurturing and building these relationships, not just for a couple months, but really years before that. Like, you should have some of these connections hopefully by your junior year, and then these connections turn into easy offers later down in November and December. And so it's really not just boom, in October we hit it really hard, and then boom, November and December. No, it's pretty much junior year, even sophomore year, you're going at it, and then boom, it hits you. You get that first offer and just piles up. But that won't come if you don't put in the time beforehand. And so hopefully you've already put in the time. You built a Twitter profile that is a brand that represents you and is getting the attention of college coaches. You're posting on Twitter consistently, showing them what you got, so you have coaches following you, because that's where most of it comes from. Is you're on a board somewhere because you posted or you DM'd a coach way back, and maybe they didn't even respond, but they put you down on their board. And this has happened to me multiple times. I got a call one time like at 8 a.m. From a coach I've never talked to, and he's like, "Hey Trent, how's everything going?" And he's like, "Man, you've been on our board for a minute here, and just got done talking to your head coach, and really like your stuff, and we want to offer you, man. We really like you here." And I'm like, "Awesome!" Like, never talked to this coach, barely even knew what the school was. I had like a kind of an idea, and so it's just like it's crazy. So you never know what's going to happen when those coaches follow you, because most of the time they're following you to keep an eye on you, and so you need to build that up early. And if you don't build up early, then it's never going to come. It becomes a lot harder to build up momentum later on. Now, if you're late in the game, you haven't really been done too much, then you do need to go super crazy on the exposure side. You need to be posting as much as possible. You need to be DMing coaches as much as possible, emailing coaches as much as possible. I have to do everything you can to put yourself out there. You should still have some time to get some offers, but it's definitely going to take a lot of work. And so you have to be hyper-focused on the exposure side. Make sure everything looks clean. Make sure there's nothing that a coach can say, "No, I don't want this kid because X, Y, and Z," but there's unlimited reasons why they should say yes. And so really from there, once you maximize that exposure, you're just trying to expand the amount of luck that you have and try to get as much in front of as many coaches as possible. And you're going to want to make sure that you have a wide net, because especially this late in the game, you can't be picky. You can't be picky about, "Oh, I only want to go to this school, that school." There's a good chance that those boards are filled up, that they already have their guys at their position or have a good idea of who they want. So you have to cast a wide net, try to get other opportunities, and that may even get the attention of other schools or schools that you want more so, and allow you to open up those opportunities because they realize, hey, this guy's actually better than who we've got. We need to take a look at this guy and give him an offer. So really, this offer season, it's a harvest. To those listening to this that maybe you're not going to your senior season, recognize that this time is a harvest, and it comes from the culmination of work you have beforehand. So put in that work beforehand, and it'll make these months much easier. I know it's really stressful. We have families that are like, I hope things are going to come, and I'm like, look, we're doing the right things. You're talking to 10 plus coaches. We're getting new responses every single week. Like, I know there's no offers in right now, but I can tell you, confidently, there will be multiple once we get to these months. And so I'm super stoked about it, because it's a ton of fun. But at the same time, if you put in the work, it makes it really easy to know that, hey, this is the time that we should be expecting to get offers. And if you haven't put in the work, then you need to start putting in the work now. Find ways to get in front of coaches, start building those relationships so we can take advantage of this time where most of the offers will go out and where you'll get the best possible offers that you can get. As far as scholarship amounts, et cetera, because if you get them later on, there's a good chance that they don't have as much money, might not be able to get them an offer. So all that to be said, make the most of this time, enjoy the offer season, super stoked. And if you got something from this, be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.